Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was directed by Sam Raimi and stars Benedict Cumberbatch and Elizabeth Olsen, and follows Doctor Strange as he must protect a young girl that has the ability to jump to multiple different multiverses, all while Wanda Maximoff has completely embraced the Scarlet Witch and is hunting after this girl in an attempt to go to a different universe where her children exist so that she can be with them. Guys, I am so excited to finally talk about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. This has been a very highly anticipated MCU film for me for many reasons. I've just been excited ever since I found out that it was going to be a little bit more horror themed, and then when Sam Raimi was announced to be the director along with Danny Elfman coming back, it was shaping up to be something really fun and really special for the MCU. But I did have my reservations, and they were similar reservations that I had going into No Way Home. I was afraid that dealing with the multiverse, that there would be a lot of clutter, that there would be a very messy story where the cameos really took up a majority of the screen time, and there really wasn't much in the way of story. However, I can safely say that was not the case with this film, and I was really satisfied in the fact that they really restrained themselves in this film. They could have gone so big. This could have been the biggest MCU film ever made, with so many cameos, just going to different multiverses, and they didn't do that, and I really commend them for that. So anyway, let's get into the film proper. Well, first of all, I want to say that when it came to the first Doctor Strange movie, I thought that it was a really solid film with a really good performance from Benedict Cumberbatch. However, the film just felt rather standard to me. It felt like a standard origin story movie for the MCU, and it really didn't have anything in it that I felt was special. But this has its own feel. It made me care about the characters that I was watching, and it was just, in the end, a lot of fun. And the two best things in this movie, in my opinion, are Benedict Cumberbatch and especially Elizabeth Olsen, who give their best performances in the MCU property, I think, personally. We've never really gotten a vulnerable type of Doctor Strange with Benedict Cumberbatch, and we really get that here. We see he has this want that he needs at the very beginning of the film, and we see him become challenged throughout the film and trying to figure out how can he make that happen. And it was really an interesting journey for him, and I really think that he evolved as a hero by the end of this film, and it was just very well done. But Elizabeth Olsen truly steals the show as Wanda Maximoff. I've already loved Elizabeth Olsen ever since she entered into the MCU, and I loved her especially during WandaVision, which is one of my favorite MCU properties out there. But I really was satisfied with how they brought WandaVision and made it so relevant to this film that you do, I think, need to see WandaVision before you see this movie. And that might be a little bit of a complaint, but it really helps with making WandaVision relevant for this film. And it was really, really cool. She is emotional. She is raw. And she makes for one hell of a antagonist. She is probably, just because of the amount of depth that we have gotten with her before, she is by far one of the best MCU villains that we've gotten in a while, and it is really satisfying to see it on screen, and I was just captivated every second she was on screen. Also, the film is just a lot of fun. It has a lot of great action moments throughout. I think Sam Raimi does really good with action. I mean, he honed his skills when it came to the original Spider-Man trilogy, and you can see that type of filmmaking still here. And I loved how this felt like a Sam Raimi film, because a lot of the MCU films do end up feeling the same. They have to abide by a certain code, and they end up feeling rather similar. However, there are certain directors that are able to get away with their style, such as James Gunn or Taika Waititi, and in my opinion here, Sam Raimi, who really does a great job of blending action, romance, horror, sadness, just all of these different emotions, and it's able to be fit into a film that ultimately probably shouldn't work, but they're able to balance these things out and make them work, which was really satisfying for me. Also, the score by Danny Elfman. I can't really remember the score from the first Doctor Strange, but I can really remember the score from this one. It is threatening, it is bombastic, it's loud, it's entertaining, and it just kind of lifts your spirits a little bit. It makes Doctor Strange one of my favorite MCU characters. I really enjoyed this movie, and when it does get to certain cameos, they don't feel forced, they don't overstay their welcome, they feel just relevant enough for the story beats going forward, and I thought that was really nice. I also liked how it dealt with character arcs. Doctor Strange really does have a satisfying character arc through this story, and so does Wanda, and I think it's really well done. Now, I will say that the film does have a little bit of a pacing problem. It can be very slow in the middle of the film, and, you know, that can be a detriment to the film. As far as I know, I'm pretty sure that this film was cut down by about half an hour because of the original reports that it was about 2.5 hours, and now it's cut down to 2. So it was probably a good idea that it was cut, because I think sometimes the movie does drag a little bit. But it is always entertaining, and it can be a bit messy. There are a lot of things going on in this film, but not as many as I thought there would be, which surprised me. But, you know, for somebody that is looking for a more straightforward film, they're not going to be finding it here with Doctor Strange, and that might knock off some points for some people. But I think they were able to tell a very engaging story while also being very entertaining and heartfelt as well. This is a very good MCU film. It's not one of the absolute best, but it's not one of the weaker ones either. In fact, I love this film way more than the first one. I think it really made me care about the character of Doctor Strange in a way I hadn't before, and I left the theater wholly satisfied. So anyway, guys, with all that said, I'm going to give Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness an 8 out of 10. Well, guys, I want to thank you for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and stay positive.